Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, we have made it to Unit 4. Our first lesson is going to be Lesson 4.1, Mental Math Multiplication. Your I can statement, I can use mental math to solve multiplication and problems with and without decimals. As a reminder, I'm expecting the word lesson and 4.1 at the top of your notebook, your I can statement, the heading for practice problems, and the practice problems written out and solved. And that was not, most of you did really well with that last time, but just if that's an area you're not remembering, please remember to do that, okay? I want you to do well with those notebooks. So let's take a look at this problem here. Cassie makes $127 a week mowing lawns in the summer. How much money will she have earned after 10 weeks? Well, we can set up our multiplication problem, which looks like this. $127 times 10. Now, I'm putting this number here with all these zeros here because what's going to happen here when we multiply by 10, all you do is put a 0 at the end of the number, and what this means is you're shifting or moving the decimal point one place to the right. So in this place, the decimal point is here. When I move over here, it's going to shift from here to here. So there's my decimal point. So the answer to the question is she would make $1,270, okay? And I threw that 0 on the end just so you could see that down there. So if we take a look, right here is the root number that we started with, 127. And you can see I took the 0 from the 10 and placed it at the end down there, okay? So let's take a look at this one. Cassie makes $127 a week mowing lawns in the summer. Let's say that over several summers, she saved up her money. How much money would she have after 100 weeks? Okay, so here's my multiplication problem. I'm going to set it up the same way. Now look at all those zeros. That looks like it's a lot, right? Lots of zeros at the end of that. But there's a method to my madness. Okay, we are going to take that decimal point and move it from here. We're going to move it. How many zeros do we have? 1, 2. So we're going to move it 2 places to the right and end up putting that decimal point way down there. So after 100 weeks, she will have earned $12,700. Okay, sounds like a good chunk of money to me. Okay, so all we did is we took those 2 zeros from the end of the 100 and we moved them over to the end of the 127 we started with, and that's how we got that answer. Okay, so let's just take it out one step further. What if it was 1,000 weeks? It's a long time, right? She'd have to be mowing lawns for a long time for 1,000 weeks, but let's just say it was 1,000 weeks. Okay. Well, we take 127 times 1,000. Look at all those zeros. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 zeros here, so that means I'm going to move my decimal place to the right 3 places. I'm going to start at right after the 7. 1, 2, 3, and there's my decimal point. Okay, now all I did was took the 3 zeros at the end of the 1,000, and I moved them down to the end of the 7 here. Okay, so that's all we do when we multiply. We put the zeros at the end. If there's 1 0 at the end of the number, we put 1 0. 2 zeros, 2 zeros. 3 zeros, 3. If there are 4 zeros, we'd put 4 zeros at the end if we were multiplying times 10,000. Okay, so you should have $127,000. I'm going to have to go see Cassie and see if I can borrow some money. Okay, so just as a reminder, when you multiply by 100, 2 zeros at the end of the number. And this time you're going to shift the decimal point 2 places to the right, just like we did in this one here. And for 1,000, 3 zeros at the end and shift 3 places to the right. Okay, now let's take a look at this problem here. Jaden gets $6 a week for allowance. How much would he have after 30 weeks? Well, we're multiplying by a multiple of 10 here. So when we look at $6 times 30, we can look at 6 times 3 for a root of 18, and then I've got 1 0 here that I'm going to add to the end. Okay, so I put all these zeros out here. I move my decimal point in, and I get $180. I don't count these zeros after the decimal point. They don't count. I'm only looking at the 0 that's in the whole number. Okay? So let's look at this one. Abby gets $30 a week for allowance. How much would she have after 60 weeks? Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and try this problem here. Okay? Just try it now and then play when you're ready. And I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I set up my multiplication problem. I have 30 times 60, okay? When I multiply those out, I get 3 times 6 is 18, okay? That's where that 18, forget about all the zeros for right now, I get 18, okay? I'm going to put in my decimal point because I've got a 0 on this number and a 0 on this number. You'll notice the 0 is to the left of the decimal. That's why I'm adding it in this time, okay? So I took the 0 from the 30 and the 0 from the 60 and put them at the end of 18, which was the root problem, to give me $1,800. Okay. Now, if she's getting 30 bucks a week for allowance, I'm going to go get a loan. Okay. So here are your practice problems for this week. You can see 1 through, well, you can see I've got 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. I'm still learning how to number problems. Sorry, there really are 6 problems there. I just don't know how to number them. Maybe by the time break is over, I'll have that figured out. Okay, so here's your guiding question. Okay, and this is going to be something new that we're going to be practicing. I don't know if I'll put them in all lessons, but just some things to think about. Why does 5 times 30 have 1 0 in the product when 5 times 80 has 2? I want you to come to class prepared to answer that question on Monday. And I'd also like you to create a problem of your own, either a multiple of 10, 100, or 1,000 for your classmates to solve, and bring that and be ready on Monday. All right, see you then.